Mercury Marine, 40, 50, and 60 horsepower 4-stroke oil change. We're going to walk you through it right now. My name is Mark, and this is Catfish and Crappie. Right on. Trusty old Mercury, 40 horsepower. This thing's been doing me pretty good. Runs quiet, fuel efficient like you wouldn't believe. To me, the 4 cycles or the 4 strokes are a good choice. You know, I'm not fishing any big tournaments. I don't need to get to a spot super fast. My next boat, they could all change, but for now, I'm going to take care of this one because she's been taking good care of me. Put a lot of fish in the boat. So, this is your standard 4-cycle oil change. It's not much from a car or lawn tractor or anything like that. Pretty much anybody can do it. Hopefully the sound is good. I kind of had some problems with my mic, but hopefully we're back in business. So let's get to it. First thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is take the hood off, and they're pretty easy on these Mercuries. Pretty much open it back up, lift it up by this, and it comes off. Plain and simple. All right, let me go over some of the tools you're going to need. You're obviously going to need something to drain oil in. These by Blitz work pretty well. They're good. They got a spout for pouring them out. I do have another Blitz, like 3-gallon container that I pour these into. Make sure you recycle or take it to your local recycling center. Don't be throwing in garbage or anything like that. It's just not a good thing to do. So, some cardboard on the ground too, just so you guys know. 18 millimeter socket, drain oil. I use these filter wrenches. This one works pretty good for this. They're not the best ones in the world, but it's what I have sitting around. These work. Make sure you get one to do that. If you can't, you can always use channel locks. I don't advise it because sometimes you tear it up, but they'll work in a pinch. Your Mercury oil filter. And this model calls for 3 quarts of 25W40. I use this, it calls for the Quicksilver. I use the synthetic. I'm a big fan of synthetic oil. I've was in the oil business for like 13 years, so can't go wrong with this, as long as the motor's broken, but we can get into that discussion offline. Let's see what else we need. Oh, most important, paper towels. You're gonna need these. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start draining the oil. All right, folks, I don't know if you've noticed, but I turned the motor towards the oil drain. You can see it right here. This is where your 18 millimeter plug goes. If you'll notice, this little lip here around the plug is designed to try not to keep oil everywhere, or let oil from dripping everywhere. What I like to do, you pretty much have to tilt the motor up. And you notice it's not all the way up, almost all the way up. I like to make it so this is level with the ground, where the thickest thing is. Get your drain pan ready. Your drain pan ready, obviously. Sometimes it's a good idea to have it handy. I got some cardboard here on the ground. I am doing this on my driveway, just trying to get some better light for you guys to see. Usually I will just do this in the garage, but my garage is kind of dark. There we go. I got it started. Took a little bit of oomph, but not too bad. What I like to do is I like to hold this here, so when it does start leaking, I can catch it. And trust me, I've missed it a few times. It makes a big mess, hence the big roll of paper towels and the cardboard on the ground. All right, see how it comes off? And then I'll just kind of slowly drop this to the ground. At least for now, but you're gonna have to watch because it's going to, it'll start moving in. And I'm gonna open up I'll show you see where I mean? You'll see as it falls, it kind of loses its arc. I will open that. I'm gonna open the twist off add cover. Mine's kind of tight, but take it and try to help it out a little bit. Move your container as it drops. But as you can see, hopefully you can see that. I think you can. How it's just kind of draining out. So it drains pretty quickly. See, with all that, I still got a little bit of oil spilled, not spilled, but blown off onto the all right. Now this is spring. Looks like there's a little bit of condensation in the water, in the oil. That's not really to be that alarmed about. That little bit is. I do a lot of trolling around, looking, scouting, so that will happen. Also, if you do keep your boat in, if you keep your boat outside, I would do this before winter. I would also change the gear oil before winter. We'll make another video on the gear oil. All right, this is getting pretty close to done. We'll grab some of our paper towels. Thank you, Costco. Holler at your boy. See, it'll still come out for a little bit. Just keep wiping it until you can get that screw in there. While it's doing that, I'll wipe off the drain plug. Inspect it, obviously. Make sure there's no metal or anything on it. I'm not sure if these are magnetic. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I don't see anything on this. All right, then I put the plug back. Well, after I wipe this clean. Pretty simple. Sometimes you could even turn the motor a little bit. I like to be kind of quick with it, try to minimize any additional drippage past the bolt. Sorry about the noise, guys. I got a kid on his little electric Mercedes G-Class driving by. Like I said, I'm doing this in my driveway. Find your wrench. I like to get it nice and snug. I'm not really cranking down on it. I'm just doing it with a little bit of feeling. I'm sure there's some torque specs out there. Feel free to look them up. I do have a torque wrench, but I've been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. I got a good feel for it. I've messed up enough to know when to stop. I really like to make sure it's cleaned up in there. It's important. I try to keep this as clean as possible when I'm doing it. Get it in there. As you can see, it cleans up really well. Not a problem. Check with my fingers, see, make sure oil gets everywhere if you know. We'll put this back down. And I will turn the motor so we can so you can see what I'm doing here with the oil filter. Draining it was easy enough, wouldn't you say, folks? All right, now this oil filter, it can be a little messy. If I'd have left this drain for quite some time, it probably would be all right. But what I like to do is grab some more paper towels. Keep track of all your stuff. I kind of don't like laying them in the boat, so if I'm getting in the way here, excuse me. I got a plastic bag that I'm throwing all my trash in here. It's good to have this ready, too, when the oil filter comes off. All right, what I'll do is I'll take some rags, bunched up rags, and I'll get it down here in the bottom. You want to kind of shove it way back in there because it's not going to leak from the front of it. It's going to leak from the back of it. Watch you're not pulling any wires or anything. But here's the filter. It's located right next to oil check area. So let's see if she comes off. I haven't pre-loosened anything. This is real life. Like I said, these filter wrenches, they work okay. They're not the greatest. But let's see if we get lucky here. See what I mean? Sometimes you gotta kind of get it on an angle. Sometimes you even gotta nope, see what I mean? It's not working. Last year I was able to use it, so it was good. So hold on a second. I'm gonna go get my other option. I'll be back. All right, good old trusty vice grip channel locks. Let's see if we can get it off with this. Trying to be really gentle with it. There we go. Gentle. Even once it starts going, don't force it, because I already feel it denting up a little bit. Once you get it so you can hand remove it, you want to do it fairly quickly so you can get it. And I'll show you, I did dent it up a little bit, but I did not puncture a hole in it. Make sure that that rag is in there. Pretty good, not too much of a mess. If you can see, let's see if I can show you, there are a few dents in it. So we're going to look into getting a filter wrench, I guess, just for this. That other one that I had, I used from a Harley Davidson. So it worked last year. This year, I don't know, maybe I got a little tighter than I should. No matter what I was just saying. I'll drop this face down in the oil drain container. Wipe this nice and clean. Make sure it's not dripping out any. All right, now here's a real important part. When you get your new filter, some people just use some old oil, but I got the new oil right here. See this gasket, for those of you who don't particularly know what's going on or haven't done this too often. I know a lot of you guys are going like, yeah, right, Mark, like, we need to be told that. You want to lube that up. That helps seats it, helps keep it from seizing up on you. I just take a little bit of oil, put it on my finger. It really doesn't take much. But make sure you coat it real good. Again, paper towels come to play. Here's another mistake you guys of mine that you should learn from is always close these oil bottles up before you go to set them down. All right, now I can wipe this off. Make sure there's nothing dripping, so she drained pretty good. We'll put this in here. My big gorilla hands. We got it nice and hand tight, and I am not, repeat, not going to use the channel locks to put it back on. We're going to try this one again and see what we can get to happen here. You just want it like a quarter turn. See, look, it's working. It's working on this new one. Maybe half turn, just quarter turn. You want it to seat. Doing it by feel. All right, that should be good enough. This is actually probably why I had a hard time getting it out, because I did the exact same thing last year. So quarter turns usually how much you go. Now what we've got to do is add the oil. All right, here is the oil fill. I took this off to help the oil drain. I'm just putting it in real quick so you can see it. See, it's nice and a nice bright yellow. It's kind of hard to miss. I could have taken the dipstick out too to help vent the oil reservoir in the motor to help it drain better. But all right, this works good like this if you have a funnel. What you can do is tilt the motor up and not have to use a funnel. I'm terrible at it. My funnels are all dirty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the motor up and give it a shot. If worst comes worst, you guys will get a good laugh out of it. So sit tight. Let me tilt this motor up. Okay, so right here, plain and simple, for those of you that don't know, most people do. Engine oil level, you flip it up to unlock it. It comes unlocked. Pretty much pull a dipstick. Easiest way to check the oil. Always wipe it, put it back in. It's been sitting for a couple of minutes, so it's giving the oil time to settle. I'll lock it again. I will pull it out. It might be hard for you guys to see, but as you can see, the oil's filled up right to about there. And it's still draining down into the compartment, so it'll come back up. So we're good. We're just a little over 3/4. Check it a couple of times just to make sure. Yep, we're just there. It's full. All right, guys, we're good. So this, you can see how simple this was, other than the couple of issues with getting a filter off. But that's like any project, you know. Any project you do, you're going to run into stuff like that. So don't get discouraged. Just work around it. Figure out your way. So engine oil change on this. I'm ready to go. Tomorrow we're going to go do a little fishing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad I got to do this. Hopefully these files didn't get too corrupted. I'm going to edit this down a little bit, make it look a little shorter. But literally took me longer to set all of this stuff up to show you guys than it did to do the actual oil change. I can usually get this done in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes if I'm messing around. It takes longer to get all the tools and clean up. So it's worth it. Save yourself some money. They'll charge you a lot of bread to do this at a marina. I've seen a lot of guys out there do this. If they can do it, so can you. So cool. Thanks for watching. Again, it's Mark, Catfish Crappie. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys got something from this. Have a great one. Bye. Almost forgot, guys. Don't forget to put the hood back on. Goes on the same way it came off. There you go. Looking for a 40 this year. Plain as day. Peace.